Hi, this is Sherry and welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to just make some short videos for people to follow who think maybe they can't cook or they don't like to cook. And what I'm hoping to do is inspire a young cook or maybe even someone older who's never had much success in the kitchen. I always feel that when people tell me they can't cook, yeah, no way, no way. You can cook. Everyone can cook. If you can read a recipe, you can cook. Sometimes you need to just find the right recipe. A beginner cook, to buy a cookbook from Julia Child or something, that probably wouldn't be very wise. I haven't mastered most of her things, and I've loved to cook for many years, but it's actually not my style. I'm a little more of a Paula Deen sort of cook, maybe a bit healthier than she, and my blog is everything in moderation because I think we can eat that way, but I'll be the first to attest, and if you look closely at the video, you would be able to see this without me telling you, but moderation is difficult for me often, especially when the food tastes really good. But the amazing thing is, when I first was married and began to cook, I really couldn't cook, but I also wasn't following recipes. I always cooked my meat on high and it would be burnt on the outside and raw or rare on the inside. And my husband was wonderful to go ahead and eat it without complaining and just kind of jerk a pork chop from his teeth. Some of you may be able to relate. But I started going to a church where many of the ladies took a lot of pride in the dishes that they brought. And many of you would know how this goes. If you ever see a church cookbook for sale, always pick it up because those are the best recipes you can find. And actually, although my mother and my grandmother were fabulous cooks, I always felt their things were too difficult for me. So I helped compile a cookbook actually from some of the ladies that gave me some of the favorite recipes that I still make, some of them. And that kind of started me on the road to becoming a much better cook. And then, of course, trial and error, where I still use recipes, but sometimes I just kind of know now because I read so many cookbooks and I've eaten so much food that I'm able to kind of eye things now a little and try things on my own and create some of my own dishes. But what I wanted to do was start with some very simple things that maybe a beginner cook or someone who just tried and feel like they failed, things that have helped me, things that have been real helpful. But I wanted to tell you one of the maybe obvious to many of you. I'm 50 years old, and why this wasn't obvious to me, I don't know. I'm also a very messy cook, and I'm the one that, because I'm a little flighty, I like to set out all of my ingredients and put everything in. Then I can see what I've used and what I've not used. My husband, who's very neat, will go behind me and say, why don't you just clean this up as you go, and then you won't have the big mess at the end. It's why we're married, because we're completely different, and he balances me and helps me out. But usually I'm just rolling my eyes at him because it doesn't work for me. If I put everything away, I won't remember if I actually put it in. It's hard to tell if you've put in baking soda or your baking powder or cornstarch or something when you're putting it all together in a cake mix. Anyway, so I've had problems like that in the past. Well, that can be another post or another video. Anyway, one of the obvious things for me that I overlooked, and I don't know why, at 50 years old, I have just now begun to wear aprons. And I don't know why I waited so long, because it was ridiculous. I'm very messy, especially if powdered sugar is involved. Goodness, it's all over the place. So now powdered sugar will also be on my apron, which I think it is now, but instead, my clothes won't be ruined underneath. I've had grease spots and spaghetti splats and things like that that I've had trouble with getting off of my clothes. And now it's like, hey, I can't forget. I have this one. This will cook for shoes. I don't know if this is filming backwards or what, but my friend Sweet Tea got this for me for my birthday, and I love it, Teresa. Thank you. It is very helpful in the kitchen for me. So that'd be my first tip. If you're messy like me, put something on over your clothes or wear something old rather than ruin a bunch of clothes or have to rewash things. You're ready to go somewhere and you had a last minute spill on your clothes. You could just take this off and wash it and all would be well. That would be one of my big tips for you. The other would be, if you have the money, hire an assistant to follow behind you and clean up. Once you've put all your things in and you're certain that you have them all in, let somebody else do the cleaning. I wanted it always to be a rule in my house with 3 sons that whoever cooks didn't clean up after. I thought it sounded fair, but I think I was overruled here. So I'm still trying to get that to sink in now that my sons are grown, but that isn't going over too well. So that might be another thing. I would suggest to you that make that rule from the beginning. Don't be like me and try to do it all, because it's ridiculous and I get worn out. And then sometimes I don't want to cook just because I don't want all the mess to clean up afterwards. So anyway, I'm hoping I can share some good tips with you that will inspire you. I want everybody to know that they can cook. If you can read, you can cook. If you can watch a video, you can cook. I'll start very simple and add some better things along the way that might get some oohs and ahs at places, and I promise they won't be very difficult at all, because I want you to continue learning and continue practicing. So with that, I'm going to end this one. Tip for the day was just get yourself an apron. There's adorable ones out there, especially online, and you can get them even personalized often. So this is me signing out for today. Thank you, and I hope you do some good cooking or some good trying. See ya.